Yesterday's forecast warned of a storm, casting a shadow over my plans. The meteorologist's voice echoed in my mind, a solemn reminder of the brewing chaos in the sky. I braced myself for the day, anticipating the clash of warm air and dark clouds that would soon converge. This morning, I woke to the oppressive weight of humidity, as if the air itself had become a tangible entity clinging to my skin. Each breath felt heavy, labored, like inhaling through a damp cloth. I could feel the stickiness settling in. It was uncomfortable. A constant reminder of the discomfort that awaited me outside. I longed for the crispness of a fresh breeze, but instead, the air was thick, almost suffocating, wrapping around me like a wet blanket. Seeking solace, I stepped into the shower. The chill of the water hit me like a shock, a stark contrast to the stifling heat outside. For a moment, I reveled in the refreshing cascade, the droplets dancing over my skin, washing away the night's rest. But as I turned off the faucet, the warm air enveloped me once again, and I felt it creeping back, the humidity, the stickiness, the relentless discomfort. It was a fleeting relief, a temporary escape that left me yearning for more. I dressed slowly, the air around me thickening. Choosing a loose, long dress seemed prudent. It wouldn't cling to my skin if the storm caught me. As I slipped it on, I felt the fabric glide over my body, a small comfort against the impending chaos. I paired it with sneakers and socks, a practical choice for a day that promised unpredictable weather. Before stepping out, I grabbed my umbrella, hoping it would shield me from the coming rain. I stepped outside, feeling both prepared and vulnerable. The sky loomed overhead, heavy and brooding, pregnant with rain. I hesitated on my doorstep, my heart racing with a mixture of excitement and dread. Should I really step out this morning? The thought of being caught in a downpour sent a shiver down my spine, a reminder of the power of nature that I both revered and feared. The streets were eerily quiet, save for the distant rumble of thunder, a low growl that seemed to echo my own unease. I could feel the tension in the air, a palpable energy that hinted at the storm's approach. My senses heightened. Every sound became amplified: the rustle of leaves, the distant chatter of neighbors, the soft patter of droplets beginning to fall. Each sound was a reminder that the storm was imminent, lurking just beyond the horizon. As I took my first steps, the humidity clung to me more than ever. My skin felt slick and uncomfortable, the fabric of my dress sticking slightly at my sides. I wiped my forehead with the back of my hand, feeling the beads of sweat forming. I was already drenched in discomfort, even before the rain had the chance to fall. The oppressive air felt like a vice, squeezing the breath from my lungs as I walked. My mind raced with thoughts of what lay ahead. Would I find shelter if the storm hit? How would I navigate the city streets in the pouring rain? The uncertainty gnawed at me, making each step feel heavier. I felt exposed, vulnerable to the whims of the weather. The dark clouds above seemed to mock my indecision, swirling ominously as if they were aware of my trepidation. As I moved forward, I could feel the ground warming beneath my sneakers, the pavement absorbing the moisture from the air. Each step was a reminder of the heat that radiated from below, rising to meet the coolness of the clouds above. The contrast was jarring, a clash of elements that left me feeling breathless, as though I were caught in a storm long before the rain fell. The city felt alive, but not in the way I was accustomed to. It was an energy tinged with anxiety, the anticipation of an impending storm creating an electric atmosphere. I glanced at the darkening sky, the thick clouds swirling like a tempest of emotions. Fear mingled with exhilaration. I felt torn between the safety of home and the call of the outside world, the urge to explore battling against the instinct to retreat. The air around me grew heavier, thickening with the promise of rain. I could sense it, a weight pressing down on my shoulders. The birds had fallen silent, retreating to their nests, and the trees swayed restlessly as if trying to shake off the tension. I stopped for a moment, closing my eyes and inhaling deeply, but all I could taste was the humidity, cloying and thick, filling my lungs with a sense of foreboding. Doubt began to creep in. Was I foolish to venture out today? What if the storm hit sooner than expected? I could envision myself caught in a torrential downpour, drenched and shivering, seeking refuge under an awning or a tree. The thought made me shudder, an image of myself standing there, hair plastered to my face, clothes clinging uncomfortably to my skin, feeling utterly exposed and vulnerable. But then, I thought of the adventure that awaited, the excitement of bakery treats, the thrill of exploring the unknown. I pushed the worry aside, forcing myself to focus on the moment. Each step was a declaration of my intent. A statement of resilience against the storm that threatened to disrupt my plans. As I moved forward, I felt a flicker of determination igniting within me, pushing back against the oppressive weight of anxiety. With every step, I could feel the tension in the air shift slightly, a cool breeze whispering past me. It was a brief respite, a fleeting reminder that the storm could also bring renewal. I clung to that thought, letting it ground me as I walked deeper into the unknown. The world felt vibrant, alive with colors and sounds, even as the storm loomed overhead. But still, the humidity clung to me, relentless and unforgiving. I felt the sweat trickling down my back, an unwelcome reminder of the discomfort of the day. My breath quickened as I quickened my pace. The urgency of the situation becoming more palpable. The storm was not just a distant threat anymore, it was a reality inching closer by the minute. I glanced up again, and the clouds had darkened further, swirling ominously. A low rumble of thunder rolled across the sky, echoing my own racing heart. Was it too late to turn back? I hesitated, my feet rooted to the ground, torn between the safety of the familiar and the thrill of the unknown. But as I stood there, a sudden gust of wind whipped through the streets, sending a shiver down my spine. It felt like a warning, a reminder that I was not in control of the elements. I took a deep breath, feeling the weight of the moment settle over me. I couldn't let fear dictate my choices today. With a renewed sense of purpose, I pushed forward, each step a testament to my resolve. I could feel the storm brewing within me, a tempest of emotions ready to be unleashed. The air crackled with energy, the promise of rain hanging tantalizingly close. I was ready to face whatever lay ahead, storm or no storm. I would not be defeated by the weather. As I walked, I could feel the first drops of rain beginning to fall, light and teasing against my skin. I looked up, letting the coolness wash over me, a brief taste of what was to come. I could almost hear the storm calling. An invitation to embrace the chaos and find beauty in the unpredictability of life. It was then that I realized the storm was not merely a threat. It was a part of my journey, a reminder that even in discomfort, there could be moments of clarity. With each drop that fell, I felt lighter, my worries washing away. I moved forward with purpose, ready to embrace the adventure, come what may. The storm was inevitable, but so was my spirit. I would not let the weather dictate my day. I would dance in the rain, finding joy even in the storm. I stepped out not just for any treat, but for something special at the bakery. The little shop around the corner had an irresistible offer. 50% off on the purchase of strawberry or chocolate cheesecake for those celebrating a birthday. It was a sweet deal, one that could only be claimed on the actual day, a fleeting opportunity that made my heart race with excitement and trepidation. As I made my way down the street, the clouds hung low and heavy, darkening the sky to a deep slate gray. I could feel the weight of the atmosphere pressing down on me, mirroring my internal conflict. Should I brave the weather for the promise of that luscious strawberry cheesecake? The thought of sinking my fork into its creamy layers, the sweet tart burst of strawberries mingling with smooth cheese, was tantalizing. But then, the reality of the impending rain loomed over me like a dark specter. Would the cake, my beloved birthday treat, be ruined by the downpour? I could envision it, soggy and unappetizing, the delicate layers collapsing under the weight of the moisture. My heart sank at the thought. This cake was not just a dessert. It was a celebration, a symbol of joy on a day meant to be filled with happiness. I couldn't let the weather dictate this moment. With each step, I battled my hesitation. The humidity clung to me, my skin feeling sticky and uncomfortable as sweat trickled down my back. I wiped my brow, reminding myself of the deliciousness that awaited me at the bakery. The offer was only for today, and I was determined to make the most of it. I could almost taste the cake, rich and decadent, a perfect blend of flavors that danced on my palate. Strawberry cheesecake had always been my favorite, a creamy delight that felt like a hug on a plate. The thought of celebrating with a whole cake in hand made the discomfort of the humidity fade slightly, replaced by a flicker of excitement. But what if the rain came down in torrents? What if I arrived at the bakery only to find it shuttered, the staff huddled inside, waiting for the storm to pass? The uncertainty gnawed at me, but I couldn't let it stop me. I needed that cake. I needed to embrace this celebration. The streets were still eerily quiet, the usual bustle of morning activity dulled by the looming storm. I glanced at the sky again, watching as the clouds thickened, swirling ominously. Thunder rumbled in the distance, a low growl that sent a shiver down my spine. Yet, I pressed on, my resolve hardening with each step. Finally, I arrived at the bakery, its charming facade a beacon of warmth amid the dreary landscape. The scent of freshly baked goods wafted through the air, wrapping around me like a comforting embrace. I hesitated for a moment, taking a deep breath to steady my racing heart. The door swung open, and I stepped inside, greeted by the delightful aroma of sugar and butter. The bakery was a haven, filled with colorful confections and delicate pastries. Display cases sparkled under the soft lighting, showcasing an array of treats. I could see the strawberry cheesecakes nestled among other desserts, their glossy tops glistening, promising sweetness and joy. My mouth watered at the sight. As I approached the counter, I felt a rush of excitement, mingled with a hint of anxiety. What if they had run out? What if someone else had snagged the last whole cake? I could feel the weight of my hopes resting on this moment. I showed the saleslady a card proving the birthday, my heart pounding in anticipation. The baker carefully lifted the cheesecake from its pedestal, and I felt a wave of relief wash over me. It was real, tangible, and it was mine. The cake nestled in its box, the delicate crust promising a perfect crunch, while the creamy filling beckoned me closer. I paid quickly, my heart racing with anticipation. Each second felt like an eternity as I watched her wrap the cake securely, ensuring it would survive the journey back home. I clutched the box tightly, feeling the coolness of the cheesecake radiate through the cardboard, a comforting reminder of the treat awaiting me. But as I stepped back outside, the world had transformed. The first drops of rain began to fall, gentle at first, but quickly escalating into a steady drizzle. I could feel the humidity intensifying, the air thickening around me. My heart raced as I glanced up at the sky, dark and foreboding, now swirling with ominous clouds. I hurried down the street, my sneakers splashing through the puddles that had already formed. The rain fell harder, each drop feeling like a tiny reminder of my decision to venture out. I could hear the thunder rumbling overhead, a relentless reminder of the storm's presence. My heart raced as I quickened my pace, desperately trying to protect my precious cargo under my umbrella. With each step in the rain coming from different directions, I felt the rain soak through my clothes even though the umbrella was over my head, the fabric clinging to my skin. The humidity and rain combined to create a sticky, uncomfortable sensation. I could feel my hair frizzing, the curls losing their shape as they absorbed the moisture. Yet, I pressed on, determined to reach home with my cake intact. Every splash of water felt like a challenge, but I refused to be deterred. I had come this far. I would not let the storm ruin this moment. I could already envision myself at home, nestled in my cozy chair, indulging in the cheesecake as I listened to the rain pattering against the windows. Finally, I reached my building, breathless and exhilarated. I dashed inside, shaking off droplets as I closed the door behind me. The warmth of my apartment enveloped me, a stark contrast to the chaos outside. I placed the cake on the kitchen counter, my heart swelling with triumph. I had made it. I had secured the birthday cake against all odds. As I peeled off my soaked clothes and changed into something dry, I could hear the rain pounding against the windows, a symphony of nature's fury. I felt a rush of gratitude for my cozy home, the safe haven where I could enjoy this cake without a care in the world. With a quick glance at the clock, I decided it was time to celebrate. I retrieved the cheesecake from the fridge, lit some candles on the cake, and carried it to the room where my grandma was resting in the armchair. I delivered the cake to her, singing the birthday song. Grandma looked up at me and smiled, her eyes sparkling as they fell upon her favorite strawberry cheesecake. She blew out the candles, and I carefully sliced into the creamy layers, the knife gliding smoothly through the rich filling. Each cut revealed the vibrant strawberries nestled atop the cake, their color a burst of joy against the creamy backdrop. She ate the cake with gusto and had cream smeared on her lips, a look of pure delight in her eyes. Aware that she might not have many more birthdays to come, she savored every precious moment with me. I took a moment to appreciate the artistry of it all, the way the strawberries glistened, the delicate crust that held the layers together. This cake was not just a treat for me, it was a celebration of my grandmother's life, a symbol of the love and memories we shared. Finally, I plated a generous slice, the cheesecake sitting proudly on the plate. I took a seat by the window, watching the rain fall in sheets, the world outside transformed into a watercolor painting of grays and blues. The storm outside seemed to fade away as I focused on the cake before me, my heart swelling with affection for the woman who had nurtured me all these years. As I savored each bite, I thought of my grandmother, who was too old to go out into the storm, but whose spirit was with me in this moment. I felt a sense of peace wash over me, the chaos of the storm becoming a distant memory. I closed my eyes for a moment, allowing myself to savor the anticipation. Then, with a deep breath, I took my first bite. The flavors exploded in my mouth, the sweetness of the strawberries, the creaminess of the cheese, the soft crunch of the crust. It was pure bliss, a taste of happiness that made every drop of rain worth it. As I savored each bite, the storm continued to rage outside, but inside, I felt warm and content. I had faced the elements, defied the weather, and claimed this moment. I felt empowered, a reminder that sometimes the best moments come from embracing life's uncertainties. With each slice, I celebrated not just my grandma's birthday but the devoted life of my grandmother, who had taught me the value of love and family. The rain may have threatened to dampen my spirits, but it had only made the celebration sweeter. As the day wore on, I found myself lost in thought, reflecting on the beauty of life's unpredictability. The storm outside became a metaphor for the challenges we all face, moments of doubt, fear, and uncertainty. Yet, like the cake, there was always sweetness waiting on the other side. I decided then that I would embrace each birthday not just as a day of celebration but as a reminder to savor every moment, to find joy in the little things, and to cherish the memories of those I loved. And as the rain continued to fall, I smiled to myself, knowing that today was a day for both of us, rain or shine. I had conquered my fears, indulged in my favorite treats, and celebrated the gift of another year for my grandmother. My heart swelled with gratitude, and I felt ready to face whatever came next, one slice of cheesecake at a time.
Thank you for watching. Please give us like, share, comment, and subscribe for more videos.